everybody. I hope you're having a great day. Today I'm going to be discussing all the books that I read in February, and it's not a very big number, but we'll get into that. So, I have been in this weird reading slump since like December, and then in January I started really getting into books again, and I was doing great. I was reading a lot. I was enjoying it. And then I read this book and it was like slamming into a roadblock because it took me 2 weeks, over 2 weeks to finish The Wind in the Willows and Other Stories by Kenneth Grahame. And I'm really surprised because I really thought I would like The Wind in the Willows because it's kind of got things that I like in it, like animals, and it's sort of similar to Watership Down, and I love that book. But yeah, I did not love this book. I think I would give The Wind in the Willows a 2.5 stars average. And it sort of sucks because it's not like I didn't like it while I was reading it. It was more like I wasn't like thinking about picking it up all the time. And then the two other stories in here are Dream Days and The Golden Age. Or Golden Age and then Dream Days, yeah. And I will say I liked The Golden Age a lot more than The Wind in the Willows. And let me give you some plot of these stories. The Wind in the Willows follows these animals that sort of live around this stream, and it follows the mole, water rat, and frog, as well as badger. Those are sort of like the main characters. And it just sort of follows their adventures. You can tell this author likes Greek mythology because in The Wind in the Willows there was like an appearance by the Greek god Pan, the god of the wild. Don't take my word for it. The only stuff I know about Greek mythology is from Percy Jackson, so I'm not sure how accurate that is. And then in the other stories, in the Golden Age, adults are referred to as Olympians, and there are so many references to Greek mythology. And then in Golden Age, it follows these siblings, and it just sort of talks about like growing older and losing your childhood imagination, and you never learn the narrator's name because it's told from one of the kids' perspectives. I think he's like a middle brother, and you never learn his name, so that's kind of interesting. But yeah, I just don't think he is an author for me because I would give Golden Age a 3-star and then Dream Days a 2.5 because I didn't like Dream Days very much. So that was unfortunate, and yeah, it took me over 2 weeks to finish it, which was crappy. And then next I have a beautiful book, and that's The Wood at Midwinter by Susanna Clarke. I love this cover so much, it's so pretty. But this was really, really good. It is a very short story, and it has beautiful, like, artwork throughout it. Like, here's another good one. And this follows a girl named Maraudis, I think is how you pronounce it, which is a really cool name. And I'm not gonna really say anything more because it would sort of give it away. But this book sort of explores like the different kinds of love, like the love between a parent and their child, a love between a husband and a wife. And I thought it was really, really beautiful. I gave this a 4.5 stars. I loved this book. It was really good. Then we have a graphic novel, which I'm super happy about, and that is The Moth Keeper by Kay O'Neill. And this follows Anya and on this sort of world where they live. So it happens that they used to live like we do, like in the daytime, sleep at night. But then the moon spirit was super lonely, so they decided, this group of people, to sleep during the day and live at night. And the moon spirit was super happy about that, and so gifted them these moths that sort of shower gifts on the people. And Anya becomes the moth keeper. And this story, I love the artwork so much, and I also love that they have like ears and stuff and a tail. They're like almost like animals if they were in human form. I mean, I think she reminds me of a fox. Um, but this book was really good. I really loved the artwork and the characters and the character development and the stories behind it. And yeah, the artwork was stunning. There's one specific thing that I'm thinking of to show you. Oh yeah, this one. That's the Moon Spirit. But yeah, this book was really good, and I'm super happy that I read another graphic novel because I'm trying to get into more of the graphic novel genre. Oh, and for rating, I would give this like a 4-ish star. I don't remember what I rated it, but 4-ish, it was really good. Then I read Frostlight by Danielle Bullen, and like I said, I love this cover, and I do have a lot of thoughts on this book. It is my signed copy, which I'm super happy about, but this follows, they have in the front how to pronounce her name, Alnika, that's how I would have pronounced it, so good. She's the main character, and it follows her and her two siblings, Olivia and Yor. That's his nickname, they call him. His real name's like Yoravali. Yeah. But they moved to this really desolate place because it was like a choice. You can either, like okay, let me start over. So, their dad left them this really big debt, and the governor sort of guy gave them a choice that either their brother, could go to the front lines on this ongoing war, or they could go live in this place that he wants people to live at for 5 years. And so they decide to go live at this place. And this place is like super, super cold. It's like 7 months of winter. It's freezing. And Onika, she loves gardening and flowers, and so she has a very hard time adjusting to like brown dead pine trees and such like that. And this book was really sweet. It was sort of about each character like finding the beauty that there was, even though it was a not ideal place. And they also meet a guy who lives out there, Goran. But I will say there was a lot of editing mistakes throughout this book. This was her first book, so I kind of understand, I guess. But yeah, there were quite a lot of editing mistakes. But I think this is a pretty solid debut novel, and I am looking forward to reading her other one, The Sparrow in the Sun, which she posted, the author did, on Instagram that there were 2 paperback signed copies left. And I looked at them, and they were only $19, so I was like, ooh, I should get one. Well, I looked again, and they were both gone. So that was rather disappointing, but my fault for not buying when I first saw them. But yeah, I'm excited to read her other one, because apparently it's a series. There's going to be a second book. Oh, and the rating for this is a 3.75. I can't remember if I said that or not. And then next, I am happy to announce I have found my first 5-star read of the year 2025. And that is Dear Olive by Aimée Lefebvre. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correct. I looked it up and it wasn't very helpful. But I love this book so much. First of all, the cover is stunning, and so is the spine. The back, nothing really is going on there. But this book was beautiful. This author, Miss Fevre, I have a lot of her books, and every time I read her book, it's like reading a work of art, if that makes sense. But this follows Olive, and she's, as you can probably tell from the title, Dear Olive, which I think is a really fun name. But she's a very happy-go-lucky, content with everything type of person. And then the circumstances happen and her life sort of gets thrown upside down. And she starts sort of seeking, because someone said to her that the definition of a happy life is when your inner life is adjusted so satisfactorily that it gives you no trouble. And so she really starts seeking like how what that means and such. And I loved the relationships that were in this book, and this book had me feeling all sorts of emotions. Anger towards one specific character that I'm thinking of right now, excitement about what was going to happen, joy when what I wanted to happen happened, sadness for the characters and all they went through. And it was so, so good. I loved this book so much. It's probably my favorite Lamplighter. Maybe, I don't know, they're all pretty good, but this one was just so good. I read this so fast, and I am blown away by how amazing this book was. But lastly, we have another cute little book. There's no rating for this one, but that is The Complete Brambly Hedge. These stories are so, so cute. I will say I have like a little bit left. I don't know if you can see my bookmark, but I'm just gonna talk about them because I've read the majority. But this follows mice, a community of mice that live in the Brambly Hedge, and it just follows their lives of picnicking, having fun, cherishing each other and their neighbors. And the author said that in her mind this is the ideal world, and I totally agree, because I would give anything to live with these mice in the Brambly Hedge, because it's just such a good, amazing time. Like, look at this. Tell me you don't want to be there on that raft dancing with those mice. I most certainly do. But this book is so, so cute, and the artwork, I just want to look at it all day long. Some of it is like super, super detailed. Like, there was a couple pictures of like the flour mill that they have, because you know they still got to be industrious. And it was super, super detailed, and I was blown away how amazing these mice were at architecture. But yeah, these books, well, there's one book. Stories are so amazing. They remind me of the Beatrix Potter books, the little mini ones. The artwork is different though. It's definitely a unique style, and I love so much, like the detail that this author puts into her pictures. There's one I'm thinking of, and it's like of a bedroom. Here it is. Look it's Miss Poppy's wedding day. Yeah, Poppy. I don't know why I forgot her name, but look how cute that room is. I mean, this is definitely the ideal life in the ideal world. But yeah, that is the last book that I read in the month of February. Wasn't my best reading month, but I found some new absolute treasures, some not so much. But I definitely enjoyed the majority of the books that I read this month. Well, that is all for today. It is a rather short video, but I have some really exciting ones coming out soon, including a tour of my classics bookshelf with my classics on it. Don't know why that didn't sound right. So stay tuned for that, and if you have any suggestions or like what you would like to see content-wise in the future, leave it in the comment section, please. And also, if any of you guys have read any good sci-fi books, I would love to hear them, because I'm really trying to find some new sci-fi books to read, because it is a genre that I want to read more of. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching and for all the support, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and goodbye.